Welcome to Jersey Matters. I'm Larry Mendte. On this week's show, the man who is in charge of cybersecurity for the state of New Jersey talks about how he's going to keep the election safe and, most importantly, how you can keep yourself safe from scammers at home. Also on today's show, they're changing the way they evaluate teachers in New Jersey. We'll explain what may happen. And we'll explain New Jersey's new paid family leave law, a law you're paying for and may not know about it. And now our interview with Michael Geraghty, the Director of Cybersecurity at New Jersey's Department of Homeland Security. Thank you for being here. I know you're a busy man.
Thank you for having me.
This organization you work for, this state organization you work for, what is it exactly? What do you do?
So the New Jersey Cybersecurity and Communications Integration Cell, the NJCIC for short, is a component organization of the Office of Homeland Security and Preparedness. And our job is to make New Jersey more resilient to cyber attacks. So that's from all threats and hazards, including those that may threaten election integrity or election security.
You help protect companies, you help protect people, you help protect the state and the election, and that's what I want to talk about since that's on everybody's mind right now. Have there been any viable threats on the voting rolls or the voting system in New Jersey?
So there are threats all the time. So the threats we're aware of, the threats we monitor for, the threats we're diligent and always monitoring. Have there been attacks against all of our systems? Yes. We detect them, we prevent them from having any impact, and we continuously up our game as far as putting prevention and detection methods in place, as well as response mechanisms. And
have there been attacks by a foreign entity on the New Jersey voting system?
There have been attacks from foreign countries, systems in foreign countries, against the voter registration systems and websites associated with state government and the election processes, but not on the voting machines themselves.
I get the difference. So you can't tie them to any government. You're saying that some of the attacks have come from overseas or from other countries, but you can't tie them to any government.
Attribution is really, really hard on the internet. You can launch through proxies, and as a result, it looks like it's coming from one country, but launched by others in a different country. So without a lot more investigation, you can't really attribute who's doing it.
On your list of priorities, where is the election?
Top of the list. But everything's top of the list. The health and safety of individuals and citizens in New Jersey, election security. We look at cybersecurity from an all threats, all hazards perspective. So election security is really important, but so too is the public welfare.
Before we get into specifics on any of this, I just want to step back and talk about how the internet has become so much a part of our lives that we trust it and we are pretty carefree with it sometimes. We give our information willingly, and I would think that's where many of these threats come from. Not an open emails for contest or because we believe that somebody is going to make us wealthy. We open these emails without thinking, and we are probably the number one prevention. If we were to stop doing that, we could prevent much of this, right?
We could. And I used a term that, everybody thinks threat actors are these super high-tech individuals that are hacking into systems. And they're really targeting individuals because it's easier to hack a person than it is to hack a computer system. And so by sending an email with that sense of urgency or prompting you to do something, people are clicking on those links and opening those attachments and responding to those emails. And as a result, they become a victim and their systems become compromised.
I was talking to you a second ago and you said everybody knows about the Nigerian Prince that needs money or some estate that you're going to get money from, but you said it's become much more sophisticated than that. What should we be looking out for now?
Well, obviously, who's sending the email? And there's a lot of disguises that individuals can do to spoof an email. So somebody can probably send an email as Mike Geraghty or pretend to be Mike Geraghty, but look at the email address from which it's coming. Understand who's sending it. Your banking institution is not going to send you emails saying you need to change your password and click on this link. Neither are any other trusted businesses that you do business with. That just doesn't happen. Similarly, if you're an organization, we see this all the time, direct deposit changes, okay? So an employee, somebody spoofed that email, sends it to the payroll department, says, I just changed my banking information. Please change direct deposit into this bank. Well, first you've got to validate that it came from that individual. Don't send an email back. Check in out-of-band way, which may be a phone call or walking down the hall and say, did you really do this? Okay, get some verification when ever making changes to financial information or other sensitive information online.
It seems like, and please tell me if I'm not correct on this, it seems like it's almost impossible to protect yourself. Because unless you don't want to be on Facebook, unless you don't want to be on Twitter, unless you don't want to be on social media, unless you don't want to give your information to Wawa, unless you don't give your information to a credit card company that gets hacked, I would think much more people have been violated somehow that don't even know they have been.
Well, there's no such thing as 100% security, whether in the virtual world or the physical world. But there's a lot of risk mitigation techniques, good practices that you can carry out to prevent these things from happening, especially at a very low level. Some of that we call cyber hygiene. Just like washing your hands and brushing your teeth keeps germs and tooth decay away. Same thing online, making sure that you're not doing risky things, clicking on those links, opening the attachments from unsolicited emails from senders that you don't know, making sure that you have strong passwords, that you don't use the same password across multiple accounts, making sure you use multi-factor authentication, which is what we call two-factor authentication. So not only do you enter a password, but you're challenged once you log in by a PIN code that may be sent to your cell phone or some other token.
I saw your list of I guess they're not priorities, but things that you're concerned about. And right after the 2020 election was social engineering. And social engineering is a lot of what we're talking about right now, not responding to emails. Explain.
So social engineering is obviously a confidence game, and confidence games have been going on since mankind started. It's just a different medium. So all these motivations, whether it be financial gain or retribution or nation-state adversaries and political attacks, these are all motives that have been around forever. It's just the medium that they're carried out in is different.
And next on was ransomware. And we all hear about ransomware, and we know that it's affected companies and sometimes shut down the internet on companies. What is it and how does it happen?
So ransomware is malicious software that gets onto your computer system and encrypts all the files. And then what happens is the bad actors that launch the ransomware, they're going to demand a ransom to get that decryption key. And you have to pay.
How do they get away? I mean, isn't that easily catchable? Can't you easily find these people?
We go back to what I was saying before about attribution on the internet. It's really difficult. So they're using cryptocurrencies, which are not necessarily easily traceable. They're proxying their information through multiple systems. So even if you can connect to an IP address, you've got probably 4 or 5 other IP addresses, and they're using other anonymization techniques to hide who they are.
That being the case, has anybody been caught for this and prosecuted?
Yes, and yeah, they have been. And so it doesn't happen in the 42 minutes that a normal TV show takes. It can take quite a bit longer, and maybe a year or more than that. But people have been. In fact, the U.S. Attorney's Office out of Newark indicted 2 Iranian nationals for one of the bigger ransomware attacks that we've seen, including that attacked the city of Newark, the port of San Diego, the city of Atlanta, and some of those other big ransomware cases that we've seen.
When we come back, we're going to take a quick break. I want to talk about artificial intelligence and facial recognition, which I know that you're concerned with as well, when we continue our conversation with Michael Geraghty, Director of the New Jersey Cybersecurity and Communications Integration Cell. We're coming right back.